Thank you for being on the 6th episode of The Window to Dubai. I have Abdullah from Monde here and The Grill, and he's going to talk about his project with us.
My pleasure to be here.
Everywhere in Dubai, there's kind of this unique experience of people who are traveling the world. They're from different parts of the world, but we're all just kind of here in this bubble doing business with each other. So I wanted to let you tell your story because you're originally from Lebanon. And you started in the service industry, and you've kind of slowly built up to a point to where now you've built this consulting business that helps restaurants kind of build from scratch, like A to Z.
Exactly.
So let's just go back to kind of Lebanon and tell your story of how you got started in the service industry, and you can tell us how you ended up in Dubai.
Sure. Well, it's like a love story, you know. It's a very long love story, but we're going to make it very short. Well, in 1998 is where all the passion started. Actually, before that, I was just working in the family business, but then the family business wasn't doing so well, so I decided to go to something else. And this is where I went to the food industry. And it was the first actual real job was in Hard Rock Cafe, and at that time, there were 2 Hard Rock Cafes in the world. So, I mean, I went and I started there, and the first week I started there, I knew I'm going to be in there for a very long time. Yeah. So I did a couple of international chains like Hard Rock Cafe, the Sports Cafe, which is an English South African thing, and Marriott Hotel and so on. And my dream was to travel the world for food. So the only chance was to do that is to go to work in an airline, either as a captain or as a cabin crew. And of course, cabin crew is much easier. So so I applied, and I was very lucky to get a job with Emirates Airlines.
Yes.
And that was in the year of 2000. And this is when I came to Dubai. And actually, it was exactly 18 years ago.
Wow.
And as we were talking before the show, like the minute I arrived here, I thought, you know, it's going to be very short. Like the first 10 minutes, I thought, no, I'm not in the right place.
Yeah.
But from that minute and that year onwards, Dubai has developed big time. So
yeah, because you've seen it go from. I mean, it was already somewhat developed, but what we know Dubai as, it's totally different, right?
Yeah. When we came, actually, the airport was still no tube. You just have to go on the escalator. Yeah. And it was really hot and humid when we arrived at that night. So we thought like, wow, this is not the place. Yeah. But that only 2 months later, when we were in the training sessions and we were doing our training, we discovered that they opened the new airport, which is now an old airport for us at the moment. Yeah. But it was with tubes, with technology, and it was something amazing. So from that day onwards, Dubai was developing very quickly. We used to go on a flight, let's say to Australia for a week, and we come back and we see a new building or a new bridge or something. So it's like crazy.
It's the same now. You just drive around, there's like a new building that pops up.
Exactly. So this is where I came into the airline industry, but still, I'm still working in food. I'm still in that kind of thing. And when I used to travel, I used to go around and see what's the food of that place, and what's the service there, and so on. So I had this amazing passion for service specifically, plus the food, of course. I personally love cooking big time. So we used to, I used to think like I'm gonna go out there and do my own thing one day. And it happened that I was back injured, so I couldn't even continue if I wanted to continue in the airline industry. So I had to leave after 6 years in there, and that was the struggle. And this is when you know the real Dubai, when you feel how Dubai it's all about. And when they say like there's an American dream, there's as well a Dubai dream by the end of the day. If you know from where to start, where to go, you will end up in being somewhere good. So I had to struggle a bit, and I moved into many jobs, and that were there. Those jobs, some of them were not really related to F&B business, but they're related to what I do right now. It's actually the core of what I do right now.
The dots connected.
Exactly, big time. Like being in what they call this, an instruction company, and you're in charge of interior and design, while you have no experience, but you have passion for it. So I took that job because the owner of that job saw me with too many magazines of interior design. So he thought like, if you have the passion, you can do it. So I did it for a very short period. And now being an F&B consultant, helping people to start from A to Z, big part of it is the fit out, and you have to know where those things come from, where each and every piece of that restaurant comes from, and you have to know if it's good or bad, if it's good quality or bad quality. And this is when I realized that that particular job was a big benefit for me. Throughout those years, I've been always developing and cooking and in restaurants and going around and seeing what's trendy, what's going on, and so this is how the story started and where it ended.
So okay, obviously you come to Dubai. You're working for Emirates. Emirates at that time, is it the Emirates that we know? Or is it smaller?
Much smaller.
And you kind of were a part of that change and growth, which, see, I think sometimes people that don't understand is that being a part of a company that's growing and changing, this is why I think Dubai is so unique, because it's like a metropolitan that's still growing.
Yep.
And there's so much opportunity to be a part of that, and you can get so much. And it sounds like you kind of got into Dubai right when it was taking off, so you were able to be in all these different businesses that kind of helped build it.
Exactly.
How did you decide, because it's always kind of a difficult moment for everyone to go from, okay, I work for someone and now I'm going to try to do it myself, or anything, right? Like that decision point where you're just like, okay, I'm going to become an entrepreneur, I'm going to figure it out.
Well, it wasn't that easy. I mean, getting paid at the end of the month, and you know that whatever happens, you're still gonna get paid. To paying to people their salaries, and you have to wait. Well, your employees might get paid, and you're not gonna get paid, especially at the beginnings. That was really a difficult decision to do. But the main reason is, when I thought about it seriously, when the injury part was there, it was a choice of either continuing being employed and maybe you get injured and you will not be employed anywhere, or you move on and do something else. And what would be better than doing what you love and what your passion is on? So it was like a decision where I had to take on myself and on my family as well. So it wasn't something that I was able to decide by myself only. So I had to sit down really and think about it. Am I ready for that challenge? And it was, to be honest with you, it was really tough. It was like the toughest thing I've done in my life.
Was it the injury that kind of forced it? Like
yeah,
it forced
the injury forced it a lot. I mean, I was during Emirates time, when I was working as a cabin crew, I always had the plan of opening a certain type of restaurant. I mean, I was really keen on reaching that stage where I would open my own restaurant.
Yeah.
And I had too many beautiful ideas. And to be honest with you, it's so funny. I did a small feasibility study of something, and even I chose the name myself. And then years later, I saw the exact same thing on the street with the exact same name. Now I was so shocked. I mean, nobody knew about this, except me and my laptop. But so I realized that my ideas could work, because if I thought of something and here it is, without even sharing it with anybody. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, you have the back injury. You've been told, okay, if you work further, something happens to you, you're responsible for yourself. And then you're thinking you want to move on, so let's move on.
Yeah.
And it's by the end of the day, it's either you do it or you don't. When you want to be a businessman or you want to do your own private business, it's either you do it or you don't. There's nothing in between. You cannot say, I will try and I will. No, it's either you would go and you will try to imagine where you're going to be in case it goes tough financially. And then you would think, I can bury it or not. If you cannot, then stay where you are.
See, I think that there's something that sticks out in my mind when I think about this, is that I think that human beings are capable of so much more when they have no other choice.
Exactly.
But when you have another choice, or you have a plan B, and that's easier, you're going to go that way. But when you have no other choice but to figure this out, it's amazing what you can do. And when you finally commit, it really has an amazing effect on people to get it done.
Totally true.
What made you go down the direction of opening a business that helped other people open restaurants versus just opening a restaurant?
Well, there was a stage where I was struggling in between jobs, and because of my consistency in work and my over honesty, let's say, in doing things, which is a trend that not too many people like in many businesses. They don't want you to comment on each and every wrong thing. They just want you to do it and move on. And I'm not that person. I would still comment. So I had many clashes with the people I'm working with. So I decided, okay, let me do freelancing, because I know a lot of people, they need services without paying too much money. So when they think about going to a proper company, they would think like, oh, it's too much money. So let's try to find somebody who can do it for us on their free time. And this is when I started doing it as like a freelancing, and then it was doing very well. In that business, I love recruitment, and I love dealing with people and training them and choosing them and making them feel the job before they even do it. So that was something.
Staffing the restaurants.
Yeah, exactly. Staffing the restaurant, training those guys, and so on. When I felt like, okay, it's doing well and it's a good future, so why not take it into the second stage? Not just be a freelancer. Let's go and set up something that is really professional and move on to something that's really good for long. Especially when I noticed that there are many people. They have the finance to do the business, but they have no clue how to do it. And they always get those who are just looking at their pockets, but they're not looking at their projects or their concepts.
Yeah.
Like you have a project and that project is really good. It can move on. But when I come to you as a consultant, some of those people, they used to come just to focus on how much money they're going to get out of you. But they're not really looking how they can make your concept successful.
Yeah.
And this is where I want to come in. And I want not to be just, everybody wants to be famous, everybody wants to be rich, everybody wants to make money, but let's earn it in a right way. And you cannot just suck people's blood without, giving them back.
Yeah. See, I agree, because I think for me, where I've had the most success as a marketer is when I work with clients that I actually help on the business development side. I don't just do marketing, right? I just don't put ads up. I actually help them figure out, okay, if I post this ad, what are you going to do when the person calls? What's the sales pitch? What's the price range? So I know how to set up the marketing the correct way versus somebody just wants to run a marketing campaign. I like to get into the business development side just as much as I like the marketing side, because I want to make sure that if I'm doing marketing, it's going to be successful. I want them to make money, because if they make money, they're going to keep doing marketing. But if they're not making money, they're going to stop, So you want to be involved with the whole process. And you're pretty much taking a client from A to Z, right? I mean, you're talking about the concept designs. Can you break down just kind of how it kind of goes? Because I've never opened in a restaurant, so maybe just tell me how it goes.
It has over 37 steps, to be honest with you. We're not gonna go into each and every detail, but there's a lot of steps. But the main important thing is from the beginning is to know where you want to be, and that's after, of course, knowing your menu. Many people, they have an idea, okay, but did you actually put a menu on the table? And you need to know what your menu is all about, because from there you would know what kitchen you would need to set and where you can be, because ideas are different. Some ideas work in a mall, and some ideas work on a place which is on the street, and some ideas work in a place where it's like, let's say, global village. So there's different ideas, and you have to decide from that point. So the minute we know what is the idea you're looking for or you have in your mind, we come in and we try to find a location for you that suits this idea and the proper kitchen setup for that particular idea. And then from there we can know the cost. So we do a quick feasibility study for you to know how much it's going to cost you and what to expect and so on.
And in Dubai, you just have to take that number and triple it, right?
Exactly. No, you're totally right. You're joking about it, but that's very true. And
whatever the feasibility study is, take that times 3.
Maybe not triple it, but you still have to consider always an exaggeration in the feasibility study. I'll give you a live example. We're just doing a project right now. And that particular project, everything was going according to feasibility, perfect. We thought wow, we're so good. But then suddenly something came up out of plan from the landlord, which cost us another 10,000 US dollars, or let's say 36,000 dirhams out of nowhere. We were not even planning for something like that. So this is why you have to always have extra. You're totally right. So you do the feasibility, and then from the feasibility, if everything goes well, then you start doing the legal stuff. So you have to know if this place is good for a restaurant from the government point of view, and you have to make sure that this place is good for a restaurant from the landlord point of view. And there's things that you have to really make sure that they really fit in there.
And I would tell you, I think that just as an outsider coming in, I think that's almost the most important part. I know the menu is probably for the restaurant is, but I've had to learn that what you can do in what zone and what you can't do in what zone is so important to know. And if you don't know that and you're just coming to Dubai, you're going to spend 4 times the amount of money figuring it out if you don't have someone that can guide you from the very beginning how to set it up correctly.
Exactly, because there are very small details that you need to know, especially when you're opening a restaurant. I mean, you would not just want the good location. Okay, great, but is that location fit for a restaurant? In Dubai, you would be tricked sometimes. People would rent you out a location, and that location is not really suitable for a restaurant because there's no place for your hood. There's no enough power in that location, and there's not even enough power around the area if you want more. So there are many small details that you would definitely need somebody. You can go to the gym as much as you want and make your muscles as big as you want, but you're still not going to be able to carry this six-wheeler. You need somebody to help you. Yeah. So it's not it's not a smart thing to just go and do it by yourself and just think, I know, and I will just go YouTube everything. You still need, because especially in Dubai, because every single day in Dubai, maybe while we're talking right now, a new rule came out. So it's you have to be very, very cautious about this and get the specialists to help you and guide you, because they are there, they're living there every day. You're busy in something else, so they know exactly what to do.
Do you find that right now you're getting more inquiries from people wanting to come into the market, or local people? And local people meaning it could be expats too, wanting to start, that are already here. They recognize that the food business is a big business. I mean, I don't think people watching, if they're not in Dubai, really understand the opportunity in the food industry in Dubai. I mean, it's like 10 million people live here. Yeah. 20 million are visiting. Someone's got to feed all those people.
Exactly.
So it's a great business to be in. But it seems like, you know, is it more people coming into the market recognizing it, or is it more people that are already here and they see it and they want to get into it?
Well, from us, I mean, my experience in this particular thing is like more the local people who are living here are trying to do some kind of small business for them, and they're going to the F&B business. Because as you just explained, the big amount of people that are living here, they need to be fed. And there's a trend in here which is like more than 80%, and that's an actual number, accurate number, which I just witnessed 2 days ago in a study, that more than 80% of the people living in Dubai specifically, besides UAE, they order from outside or they eat outside on daily basis. Yeah, because there's a huge amount of bachelors and not even just bachelors, people who are working on daily in the office. So they're so tired to cook or whatever. So they keep on buying from outside. They come into deals, whatever, but still. So because of that, people are living here, they're realizing that they can do something. People from outside are still coming, but still from the region, from the GCC countries more than anything else. Who comes from different than the GCC are like big, huge chains who are coming from existing companies anyway, but they're bringing this new chains. So people realizing that Dubai needs it, especially with the 2020 coming in. There's a big increase in that, and they need a lot. So that's why it's more the local and the local market, or let's say the local people who are living here, not just local as Emiratis, as you said. They would be local as Emiratis and expats. But maybe I would say it's more for the Emiratis. Why? Because the fact that they have those government jobs, let's say, or more related into government jobs than any other jobs. So they're more secured than private jobs. So they're more encouraged, or they're more brave to come and do a business. Because if the investment loses or it doesn't work, they know that by the end of the day, they're working for a certain place where they're covered. They're okay. Everything is going fine.
Yeah. And so to go back to 2020, is that a big focus for you? Because I know it is for me. Like 2020 is why I'm here, basically.
Yeah. Well, of course it is. That study that we were looking at, we were just looking at that to see what's happening around that area and what to expect. And let's say with the existing project we're doing, or with all the discussions that we had with some clients or potential clients, everybody's focusing on 2020. They want to do something that relates to 2020. Because we all know in Dubai, whenever there's an event, it doesn't only affect the area around the event, it affects the whole Dubai. And the area of 2020, we just saw it actually yesterday in the Arabian travel market. And it's like, okay, it's a huge area, there's many things happening, there's many things going on, but the fact that it's going to be linked to the metro, so that means people are going to come from different places. So you're linking the whole Dubai into one place. So definitely 2020 is a big potential. But of course, we have to look beyond as well.
Because see, I'll just tell you, part of my business plan has been why, and kind of we talked about this when we met, about creating the kind of halo effect over 8 marketing and kind of the business that we're of digital marketing and social media and all that. The reason why I'm focused on 2020 is I feel like the world is going to converge on Dubai for a full year. And if I can produce these shows, produce the Instagram, create that kind of halo effect over my business. And I know we talked about doing a show with you for your kind of side of stuff. I feel like 2020 is going to be the moment you can go from a small to medium to a regional player to an international player. If you position yourself right for the next 20 months, you could grab that and kind of catapult yourself to the next level. So I was just thinking, as far as when we were talking about you doing a YouTube show similar to mine and doing interviews and stuff, like, it would be cool to do that with the intention of kind of building that up, because that is going to bring so many people, not just from the MENA region, but all over the world, that you're going to have access to. Exactly. They're going to be here for a year and go, man, we should open a restaurant here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's the guy, we got to call Abdullah. He knows what to do,
well, I'll tell you, the way that things are going, I mean, if you want to be sustainable, if you want to stay for a long time, you have to think about offering something free, let's say. Okay, in a way like what 8 Marketing is doing. 8 Marketing is like going and seeing that there are people there who are passionate, they want to do something, so they're showing it to the world. So everybody's benefiting in this way, right? I mean, you're showing from your point of view, or from your page, or from your YouTube page or YouTube channel. And at the same time, we are getting able to tell people what we're doing and how good it is. So if you want to be in 2020 and you want to move on after 2020, you have to focus on providing a kind of a free service for people. So
it's just value. You have to bring value to people's lives. I think, especially in any business, if your model is always to give value first, if you don't get anything back, it's fine. But sooner or later, the net return of that, it will be someone else. Maybe it's not you, maybe it's not you, maybe it's not you, but there's a guy in the corner that's going, man, this guy's good. I want to work with him.
Exactly.
And you don't even know it, but you just keep giving value to the people that you meet, and it comes, So you're launching the grill. It's a Lebanese cuisine. And you've kind of taken it from A to Z, break down that whole project, and kind of also shout out where it's at so people know where they can go eat.
Sure. Well, the grill is a good story. We, as Monde, as the restaurant management company, decided to start like almost 6 months ago. And the reason we started to set up like a real office, because I was getting busier than before. And I had 2 of the guys who are at the moment my partners, and they came to me and they said, we have this project, we want to do like a Lebanese style restaurant. Yeah. And they had the name already, the grill, and they had the location. And that's why, before I told you about the location, it has to be like studied before you even take it. So I'll go through a small detail later on for that. But so they came in and I was helping them, and I was like being there for them to set up from A to Z. And then they were interested in being with me in the concept of food consultancy, or let's say restaurant management. So we went as partners in both right now. Nice. Yeah, and food and the grill became like our baby, or our, let's say, prototype. Yeah. So clients can actually see what we are capable of doing when they come there, because I personally put my whole effort into the menu, developed it in a good way to change from whatever is in the market, to twist a little bit so people can see the difference. Lebanese food is, for your information, according to feasibility studies, it's the 3rd most popular cuisine in the world. Wow. After the Indian and Italian, and then Lebanese comes in, and then you have the Chinese. And we come before even Chinese, knowing that how many Chinese are around the world, especially in Dubai. So we thought like, okay, if there's too many of those restaurants, we have to do something different. You have to have your own signature. So this is when I twisted things up in a way for the grill. And by the way, it's going to be opening as well in a very nice area where there would be a couple of restaurants around it. So it's like going to become a little bit of a, it's called Hissa Street in Bersha. There's a very famous hospital, the Saudi German hospital. Okay. So it's just before that line.
Yeah, I think I know the area.
Yeah, right next to the gas station. Yeah. There's McDonald's, everybody knows McDonald's. Yeah. So we're actually opening in that area. There's a couple of concepts there that are different and similar concepts, but we are twisting things up. We are doing things in a different way. So you wouldn't get the exact same hummus as you get everywhere. If you're familiar with hummus, it's So we're twisting. Maybe you would get one kind that you find everywhere, but you get another 4 different kinds of hummus, which is something rare and all natural. The concept is no artificial flavors, no artificial colorings, no sugar added, nothing. And no soft drinks from different whatever places. No soft drinks. We're all natural. We're all trying to be organic. I wouldn't say 100%, but more natural as much as possible. And the meat itself is not just a typical Lebanese. There's only one type that's very Lebanese, but the rest is, let's say, Abdalese.
Yeah, Abdalese, all right.
So we're twisting it in a way, with a certain beautiful presentation.
Yeah.
Well, definitely you're gonna be there, so you will see, and you will tell people how does it taste. And
is it a sit-down restaurant? What describe like the environment?
It is. It's a kind of, because it's a startup, so we thought, look, hey, let's start with something that's kind of small, where you get drive-through Emirati way. Because when you say drive-through, you always think about McDonald's or whatever. You just come from the window and so on. No, when we say drive-through, it's like you just park ahead of in front of the restaurant, and you pop up for the people. You use your horn, and they come and they take the order. That's one type of service that we have, and we're depending more on that than dine-in, because in dine-in we only have like 12 covers, a place for only 12 people to sit in. But we still want people to come in because we have small presentations to do for them. And of course, being in an area like that area, it's full of hotels and business towers, and at the same time, backside is all residential. So we're in the middle between two. You would want to do delivery. So it has a bit of three things, but more focused on delivery and drive-through than dine-in.
Is it something you guys want to make a franchise, or you're going to have different?
Definitely. We are planning to do a franchise, hopefully. Inshallah, if everything goes well and the business was okay, we are going to the Grill Gourmet. So it's like we focus more on dine-in than outside. And then we would want to franchise it definitely, because even though, as we said, it's a Lebanese cuisine, but it has its twist and its signature. So we believe it will work. The people who are going to be there are all passionate about what they're doing. They love what they're doing. So it's like kind of family atmosphere in there. When you want to do a restaurant in general, in Dubai specifically, and not just UAE, in Dubai has different rules every single day. So Monde has been living those rules every single day. We've been here for a long time. As I've said, I've came here in 2000, so now we're in 2000. I've been here for 18 years. Okay, maybe being in a setup company is not so long, but being in the market has been so for some time. We see businesses opening and closing, and we see actually restaurants that are in the wrong locations, and that's why they're not doing so well, but they actually have amazing food, amazing staff. So there are many small bits and pieces that Monde knows very well, and they can help in them and push your business into the next level. As I said before, it's not advisable at all to come and say, okay, I have the money, I can just go on YouTube and check things out. It doesn't work like this. Otherwise, doctors will not be there. So you can still go on YouTube and see what are the symptoms of whatever, and then go buy or create a medicine.
Well, if you go to WebMD, you think you're always dying. So you don't want to find your symptoms online, because you always think something's really bad.
So it shouldn't be like that. You should always go back to the specialists. We have a very common saying in Lebanon. If I translate into English, it means give your bread to the baker, even if he's going to eat half of it, because he knows how to deal with it. He knows how to bake it properly.
I like that. No, I like that. Are you referring to the money part? No, I'm just kidding. Give your bread to the baker. I know what to do with it. No, I'm kidding.
So you have to go to the specialist by the end of the day. And when it comes to food, I would say the ideas like the grill are becoming more in the country, and I think all around the world, where people are looking for healthier food, and because we all know the diseases are becoming more and more, and all the diseases come from the food mainly, most of the time. So
did you know that? Sorry, not to cut out. You know, in America, Americans are becoming, and I've read this, so if I'm wrong, I apologize, but that we're becoming immune to antibiotics, because there's so much antibiotics in our food that we've consumed so much of it over time that our bodies are becoming more immune to it. It just has to do with the food that you eat. You just consumed it. So
you're totally right. You're totally right. I mean, the preservatives that they put in there, and the stuff that the chemicals that they use, this is what's leading into that. You can have any antibiotics you need, as long as they are natural, and people don't realize this. And because we tend to be like, this is out of the subject maybe, but we as humans, we're not so patient. So the minute we are ill, or we have a sickness and anything, we want very quick recovery, right?
Yeah. If I have a headache, I'm Tylenol until they go away.
Immediately.
I'm not waiting. I'm like, no, it's not working.
Immediately. And this is why people go to antibiotics, because they think like, okay, it's the quickest thing. But you have antibiotics in food, in certain food, but you need a little bit of patience. And we are not patient. We are definitely not patient.
Yeah, definitely. Let me ask you, how can people find you? Maybe you can tell your website, contact information, so that way people can at least find you from the show. We definitely have a website. It's foodmonde.com, and on that you would see all the details that you need about Foodmonde. The grill still website is being built up, because it needs a lot of contents that are coming up, pictures and so on and so on. And this is where maybe 8 marketing is gonna be. Let's hope. And we're Foodmonde, as I said, it's foodmonde.com. We do have an Instagram page as well. We do have a Facebook page, and we're planning now to do a lot of work, hopefully with you on that, so they can find us on all those 3 things. Great show. I appreciate having you on. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. That was really a good pleasure. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thanks.